Has your kindness been mistaken for weakness? If you find yourself going out of your way to do nice things and it doesn't seem appreciated, it might be because you're being too nice. Kindness and generosity are admirable traits, but sometimes it's important to take care of yourself first. You can be all nice and selfless, but being too nice can actually hurt you, especially with the wrong people. By the end of this video, you'll understand why being too nice can hurt you and how to take care of your mental health before you do anything for others who don't truly deserve it. Here are 10 reasons why you should stop being too nice. Number 10. People have high expectations of you. According to research on the power of positivity, if you don't set boundaries, you will be perceived as a doormat and taken advantage of. Valuing yourself, making sure your needs are met, and establishing limits does not mean that you do not have sympathy for those around you. It just means that your needs are important as well. You may think that people will like you more if you give as much as you can. Unfortunately, people do not appreciate such efforts and start to take you for granted. A colleague asked for your help on their part of the project, and you helped. It is okay. But when it becomes a habit, that is when they expect you to do their work too, and you do not know how to say no to them. People are more appreciative as soon as you set limits. Number 9. You will develop unrealistic expectations of others. According to the power of positivity, when you are being too nice to others, you develop unrealistic expectations for them to do the same. When they do not meet these expectations, you may become angry and resentful. You'll warp your expectations. Being endlessly selfless can skew your perspective, leading you to expect others to put their interests aside for you just as you would for them. If someone is too nice to people, they start expecting an unreasonable amount of niceness from others as well. This always leads to the nice people believing that others are being unfair to them or taking them for granted. A lot of people cannot handle this, and when they talk about how they're nice to everyone while others take them for granted, they tend to sound very entitled. For instance, you are willing to go above and beyond for any of your friends, but you take it personally when they are not willing to do the same for you. Here, you need to understand that such people know how to take care of their needs, and it is your responsibility to do the same for you. Number 8. People will come to you only when they need something. When you are too nice to people, they will only see you as a means to an end. Unfortunately, that is true. People will only come to you when they think you can help them, because they see you only as a tool to help them meet their goals. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, this pattern can spiral out of control if you do not set boundaries to nip it as soon as it starts. Being able to gently say no without providing too many reasons or arguing it was key. Other options include offering to help the person get organized so that they can help themselves, or referring them to other people and resources. Number 7. You neglect yourself. What happens when you get that recipe wrong? Mixing in too much deference for others and not enough hard-headed pursuit of your own goals? You neglect yourself. You forget that you have to be nice to yourself as well. This is the problem with being too nice. Being responsive is great for you or your business, but take your focus on meeting others' needs too far, and you'll end up with no time left over to work on your priorities or the longer-term issues that are essential to your company's health. Learn to strike a balance, or your mental and physical health is at stake. This can lead to your basic needs not being met and a spiral into depression and burnout. Be more strategic about your time use and say no firmly and fairly, including the exact language you can use for different situations. Your overgiving distracts you from the sources of pain and suffering that are within you. You start seeking validation externally. When you back off on the constant giving, you can spend some time looking within and learning to rely on yourself for validation. In the end, this will allow you to be more kind and more understanding. Number 6. People will see you as a weak person. This point is no shock. This is generally the rap against being too quick to put your needs aside in favor of the needs of others, and many respondents pointed out this danger. You can never be too nice to people, but you must nonetheless be vigilant. as some will see it as a sign of weakness and try to take advantage of you. According to Jessica Stillman's research article, being too nice can cause others to perceive you as weak. Not only can this result in other people taking advantage of you, but it can also lead people to not see you as a strong leader or authority figure. Such things are common in the workplace. When you give too much and do not establish boundaries, people do not give you credit for your accomplishments. Number 5. You will attract needy people. Now that you know being too nice can make you appear weak, you will end up attracting needy people. Kindness may be a prerequisite for healthy and meaningful relationships, but an utter inability to set boundaries can come across as an invitation to those with draining emotional needs. Be excessively nice, and you will start to attract needy, whiny, overly emotional, demanding, controlling, and guilt-tripping you if you don't do something for them types of people. Do you agree? Imagine spending hours supporting friends to the point where you do not get enough sleep. Reality check. It is okay to be a good friend and to be there for people, but it is also okay to let them know that you will only be available for a short amount of time on certain days. You wind up attracting narcissists, manipulators, and users. Number 4. You may become needy. Another downside of being too nice is that you are likely to become needy. According to a mental health counselor, when you are not meeting your own needs, you will subconsciously seek to get those needs met in other places. This can result in clingy, needy behavior in relationships, as well as constantly seeking validation. Did you ever find yourself engaging in similar behavior? If you do not learn to stand up for yourself and get used to giving too much, you will end up devaluing yourself. You will become needy. Number 3. People will not trust you. Let's face it, genuinely nice people aren't rare, but especially in some corners of the business and professional world, they're hardly in the majority either. This sad fact means that if you are truly nice, you're liable to be occasionally misunderstood and even viewed with suspicion. People will believe that you have an ulterior motive in mind. Otherwise, why would you be doing all these special things? Just as there is no such thing as a free lunch, there surely cannot be such a thing as too nice for no reason. That is primarily because so few people are nice. So when you are too nice, people doubt your intentions. You are likely to be met with mistrust, which will lead to difficulties in establishing relationships. Number 2. You may become overly apologetic. Nice people don't typically like to see other people upset or be upsetting to other people. That can turn into a problem for a nice person if they start to shoulder problems and emotions that are not theirs to carry. It's one thing to be there for someone who is having a hard time and to offer some support and kindness in a trying moment. A nice person needs to be wary of that other person trying to shove their emotional responsibility onto them. The nice person needs to be wary of the phrase, "I'm sorry," to ensure that they are not apologizing for things that are not their fault, and smoothing out emotions that the other person should be working on themselves. Number 1. Your own well-being plummets. The cost of being too nice and always putting others before yourself can be very high. Your own well-being may plummet and reach new lows. You become invisible, unworthy, weak, unappreciated, excluded, and lonely. It is quite common for nice people to end up on their own, even though they reach out to others all the time. You need to realize that putting all your power outside of yourself instead of focusing on what is within your control first is dangerous for your mental health. When you're too nice, you get sad and mad. This then makes your niceness come across as even more fake and disingenuous. Value yourself first, and you will begin to value everyone else around you. Final thoughts. The purpose of this video is to offer wisdom on how to know if your attempts to be nice have crossed the line and qualified you as a pushover, as well as warnings about the dangers of taking your, entirely admirable, urge to please others too far. Kindness is always a virtue, but things could go wrong if you take being a sweetheart too far. Just remember to respect yourself. Now, you need to watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. It will show you 10 signs your personality is more attractive than you think. Make sure to watch it now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.